Let's look at Exodus chapter 20, verse 17. And this is the final of the 10 commandments. I guess unless you're using the Samaritan Pentateuch, then it would be number 10 of 11. But regardless, it's number 10. It says, "You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that is your neighbor's." So this idea of coveting, we don't really use that word covet very often in common parlance today, at least not in English. So some words that are very similar to covetousness that portray this meaning would be greed or avarice. And avarice is this idea that you excessively desire something, and it's often pertaining to wealth, or just really this covetousness is anything that doesn't belong to you, and you're desiring it. It's this evil desire to possess something that's not meant for you. So these examples that are given, it's like, it's your neighbor's house, and you're like, well, I want that. It's like, well, it's not yours, it's your neighbor's. It's like, well, I want my neighbor's wife. It's like, well, that's adultery. And so that's not yours, that's your neighbor's wife. Same would be for husband. And it's like they're animals, anything that belongs to your neighbor. So when it comes to animals, when let's say a mother cow gives birth to a baby and she produces milk, well, who is that milk for? Well, it's for her baby, her calf. And so if we're desiring that and we say, no, I want that instead of the baby calf, well, that's covetousness. We're desiring something that's not intended for us. Similar to, let's say, honey that comes from bees. Well, that's for bees. They need that. That's how they survive through the winter. That's their sustenance. And so if we're like, well, I want that instead, it's like, well, that's covetousness. It's not for you. It's for them. God gave us the fruit of the tree and the herbs of the ground. That's our food. So we shouldn't be desiring these things that were not intended for us. And when it comes to the bodies of animals, those are for the animals. And so if we kill the animal in order to eat their body, that's covetousness. We're desiring something that's not intended for us. That's intended for the animal, who God breathed life into that animal's body so that that animal can live. And if we take that from the animal, we're taking something that belongs to our neighbor, not to us. And that's intended for our neighbor, not for us. So to continue to be owned by the animals. And everything belongs to God. And so if God chooses to give those things to an animal, we should allow that to take place. We should love our animal neighbor as ourself, just like we love our human neighbor as ourself. And we should not have that covetousness where we desire those things that don't belong to us. We should be content with the very good things that God gives us.